see these numbers every day, but for us to hear, we'll give you $3 million.
Yeah,
for,
it sounded extremely, we thought they were crazy. Like, why would they do that?
It was literally like, these people are insane.
They obviously do not realize we're sleeping in the office.
In fact, when they did fund us, they realized that we were illegal immigrants.
Well, I mean,
yes, we were.
I'd say it's a gray area.
Yeah, yes, we were. We were illegal immigrants. We were sleeping in the office. We didn't have a car. We had one car, but the wheel kept falling off.
Hi friends, welcome back. So Elon Musk is being sued for insider trading. You can see this here. Musk accused of 7.5 billion of insider trades in investor suit. And this is not the first time that they've been accused of this kind of stuff. There was a probe back in 2022 looking at Elon Musk and his brother regarding their sale of stock. And I wanted to bring up the immigration thing, whether or not they were legal immigrants, because him and his brother have been involved with all kinds of shady things before. And unfortunately, it looks like they're doing it again. This comes at a time which is essentially Musk and Tesla have been spending a ton of money to convince you to pay more money. And in fact, more investor groups are coming out against it. So he's being sued for insider trading. And now also too, we have another group. This is of May 31st, 2024. Tesla investors advised to vote against Elon Musk's excessive $56 billion CEO pay. I want to go over a little bit more of the insider trading suit. You can see here it's Michael Perry against Elon Musk, Robin Denham, Ira Onpries, Hiroshima Mizuno, Joe Geba, James Murdoch, Kimball Musk, and Kathleen Wilson Thompson. So it's Elon Musk and members of the board, essentially what that is. And this is May 30th, 2024. We'll read a little bit of this together. It's from an article. In Bloomberg, it says, by relying on that information when selling part of his Tesla stake for funds to bolster his buyout of the social media platform X, then known as Twitter, Musk, quote, exploited his position at Tesla and he breached his fiduciary duties to the company and shareholders, Perry said in the complaint. Musk profited from his misconduct and his exploitation of material and adverse inside information. The basic gist of it is, guys, and I want to show you this. This is the you can see all the defendants here. It's Musk and the different members of the board. But the basic gist of it is they have all these different quotes of things that Musk were saying in public, like, "Hey, Musk is saying Q4 looks extremely good. Our factories are ramping up, record-breaking Q4, right? Demand is a little higher than otherwise it'd be." So basically, he's saying in public, "Oh my God, things are so awesome at Tesla," and then in private, right, he's selling stock. And this is essentially what the suit is, that you're insider trading, meaning that you have information that's not available to the public and you're acting on it, right? Selling shares. This is also to the dates that we're talking about here when Musk is being accused of insider trading. So filing date 11/8/2022, trade date 11/8/4. Okay, so then I guess you're filing after the trades had occurred. That's sort of what this shows here, I guess. And then this was also in December. So you're filing on 12/14. The trade date's 12/12 or 12/13, 12/14. You guys can see the dates right here as well. And then these are the amounts. So these are in the billions. Roughly 4 billion here, and this is what 3.5 billion here. So that ends up being around 7.5 billion, something like that. One of the things that really stood out to me in this suit, and you can find it, it's all public, is that it's about 61 pages, and a lot of it is redacted, and it looks like this. So I mean, I don't know, it's redacted, but from what I can tell, they must have a bunch of various things to present as evidence, and I think, and this is just my conjecture here, I think they're redacting things to protect people's identities, and I understand completely. Usually the defense and stuff like this, you'll say, "Oh, you're just being redacted. Show me who these people are. Who's saying this? Who's saying that?" And the reason why you most likely keep this stuff private is because it's very sensitive information and could put people in danger, be it physically, financially, or otherwise. So we'll see how this thing plays out. My particular point of view on these kind of things, guys, is I don't like spend my whole time defending billionaires. There's some people out there that do, and I always find that really strange, to be really frank. I don't think anyone's above the law, and for people who aren't billionaires, I would like to live in a world that's fair. That's just my point of view on this stuff. Having a whole bunch of money and having good lawyers shouldn't have the law be differently for you. But I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this. The interesting thing about it recently is you guys know with the whole Trump verdict stuff, right? Musk has been like drawing closer and closer to Trump lately, and it was rumored before. I was seeing in the Wall Street Journal and otherwise that they've been talking more on the phone. It was the reports, and Musk is like, "Oh, we don't talk about it at all," and that's why I always say you can't necessarily trust things that Musk says in public. But look what he does here. So like before, just a few days ago, he's like talking about, oh, there's no discussions about me and working with Trump, and then now suddenly 3 hours ago, just recently. I guess Trump is going to go on Twitter/X for some special town hall forum. This is from Musk himself, and then it's reported in the New York Post. Or Musk does these weird things. I mean, lately his behavior on Twitter/X has been really erratic. And some people wonder like, so why is Musk acting this way? If you haven't been following the story, and it's been the last couple of years, Musk is on the hook for quite a bit of money on that Twitter deal. About 13 billion. I think he bought it. You guys can correct me. Was it 48 billion or 50 some billion? I mean, it's a lot of money, but then he had to borrow like 13. And then Morgan Stanley is really in the hole with Musk on this. And so the last SEC thing that I was looking at that will become public eventually was that they were also working with Musk and then his fixer guy to get this Twitter thing. And then now you have this insider trading accusations, and then you have Musk tweeting this weird stuff. That's why I understand like how this all fits in. Like this is from Musk here. He says, "I do," and then he's like retweeting like someone where it says, I guess it's a quote from him, says, "Some hate humanity, but I love humanity so much." It's like, okay, so what does that have to do with anything? I'll tell you my opinion. What I think it has to do with is that Trump was convicted of all 34 counts. He's the first American felon, right, president, and Musk tweeted out this really odd tweet, which I'll read it for you guys here. And what I think is going on is, from Musk's point of view, is, well, okay, if evidence is all against me and all these things are making me look bad, and maybe I've done some bad things, my next big play is just to say, oh, well, the media doesn't like me and the court system doesn't like me, right? and this is a playbook that a lot of these kind of people do, and some people go with it. And this is literally what Musk tweeted out 13 hours ago. "Indeed, great damage was done today to public's faith in the American legal system. If a former president can be criminally convicted over such a trivial matter, motivated by politics rather than justice, then anyone is at risk of a similar fate." And I think this sort of captures why Musk is tweeting out this stuff, is because, again, if you're in this billionaire class of people, you want to be able to do all kinds of white collar crime, get away with it. And if anyone ever accuses you of things, you say, oh, it's just the media. The media is just all lies. And it's hard to live in this world where, again, you have like these people in power, and then they act like they're victims. This guy is like, what is he, the second richest person in the world now, or maybe the fourth? It depends on what the stock is doing. But like, I don't know how you can make this argument, and I want to hear it. Like, how can you argue if you're, say, one of the richest people in the world in the top five, and say that I'm just a big victim? Like, you are literally one of the richest people on the planet, and that stuff's so strange to me. And I don't cover this stuff all day every day because it's frankly too much to go over. And what I mean by that is I always just searching this really quickly, and you guys can find it. It's so simple to find if you choose to look. And unfortunately, there's people out there that just want to close their eyes and put their head in the sand. But this is coming out, this was back in 2021. I think this was the Washington Post, and this says here, Trump's false and misleading claims totaled 30,573 over 4 years, right? Like it's too much for me to talk about. I can't talk about every single nonsense thing that this person says, or I can't talk about every single nonsense thing that this person says, right? It's just too much. But I just want to point it out that yes, sometimes there's people out there that just make up a whole bunch of crap all of the time. This is another Trump thing, it's like and for those of you guys who choose to look, you can easily find this stuff. I like all of these false statements, and this is like charting it. And one of the things that I've said several times on the channel, I'm completely fine if you want to be a different political belief or party than me, no problem, right? If you want to have different views on taxes, hey, no problem. The different views on what to do about Social Security, no problem. But the problem becomes in like today's society where like you have just people just making stuff up, and I wish we could just get away from that. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to. With the rise of social media, it's like people, how can I say, are incentivized and literally being paid on X to tweet out just nonsense all the time. And as long as people look at your nonsense, you make money off of it. That's our current system. So again, I'll repeat, and I'll make it really clear. Say, your plan for Social Security is you want to privatize, right? And another person's plan is, hey, I want to raise taxes or whatever. Hey, if you want to have discussions about that stuff, no problem, right? No problem. If you want to say, hey, I want to raise tariffs to this route and I want to raise tariffs to this, way against China, hey, no problem. But when you just start making stuff up all the time, I just don't want to live in that world. And I hope you guys can agree with me on that. Again, I'm fine with you having a different opinion than me, but I just don't want the world where people just make stuff up. And this is part of the world that we live in as well, is like, say someone like Adam Newman, that's the WeWork guy. How would I look if I defend this guy all day, every day? Like, how would that make me look? Or how would it make me look if I defend Nicola Trevor Milton all day, every day, right? Like, I don't defend these people. Absolutely not. How would it look if I defend Sam Bankman-Fried all day, every day? Absolutely not. I pointed this out before when all of the YouTubers were kissing this guy's butt because he was paying them. I was like, dude, guys, this looks like a whole bunch of corruption here. And I was right. And there's so many YouTubers out there that don't want to bring this stuff up because they were basically on the money train. And it depends what kind of person you are. If you want to be on the money train, do things that are unethical, say the Theranos kind of person, right? Yes, you can make money, but ultimately you pay the prices you pay with your soul. And once you sell your soul, you can't get it back, right? Not only are you hurting other people, you're going to hurt your family, you're going to hurt yourself, and ultimately it's not good. I would say ultimately, I try to make it as really simple as possible. And again, I don't defend any of these people, and I find it strange when people do. And the reason why I'm pointing all this stuff out, guys, is because there's a lot of this kind of crazy stuff that goes on, and be it with Boeing. I'm showing you Boeing now, right? Do you ever hear me defend Boeing? No, I don't defend Boeing. Why would I? It's crazy. The same way too. This is here. I live in Korea here. We actually put our president in prison. I'm American, but I'm just saying I live here. So, or the president, however you want to state it. She was actually true story working with like a cult. I mean, true story. She had a cult advisor person that would like tell her what to do with the money, and there's lots of embezzlement going on, this kind of things. And many Koreans rose up and actually protested. There was a candlelight revolution is what they call it. And I was here during these times, and I had many students that were involved with the protests, this kind of stuff. And the crazy thing about it is these days you don't really necessarily have people defend President Park. The kind of things that I hear, they'll say, well, she was tricked. It's really or she was fooled, or she had bad advisors, that kind of stuff. But the problem with that kind of argument is that, just to be perfectly frank, President Park was really dumb. And all my friends who because I'm American, English is my first language, so I speak natively, and I can tell when someone's an idiot in English. Like, I point it out, I say this guy's clearly an idiot, or this woman's clearly an idiot. But my Korean's not good enough to know if someone's stupid. And people would always say that when they heard Park speak, it was just like obvious she was really dumb. She would evade questions all the time and just like wouldn't answer, pretend like she couldn't hear you, that kind of stuff. And I point this stuff out, guys, because I just want you to understand, like, you look like a fool when you defend a liar and a criminal, and some people do, but your better route, which a lot of people end up taking, is they just don't want to talk about it. That's the better route to take. But for many people, it's hard to admit that they were wrong. I think it's important to learn from the past. That's why I bring this up. I recommend you guys see these movies. This is part of education. Please educate yourself. This is a movie called 1987. It's one of my very favorite Korean movies, but one of my favorite movies of all time. It's about corruption and sort of how regular people can fight against it. I recommend this movie several times on the channel, and the reason I'm recommending movies is it's just like you can sit down for a couple of hours, educate yourself on a particular topic, and just get a sense of what goes on behind closed doors. Margin Call, another fantastic film. I understand that The Big Short is the more funny film, more exciting, etc. Right? Someone's making a ton of money. This covers more the corruption aspect of what happened with the housing thing, the Lehman Brothers. Please check it out. And also a documentary if you have never seen this. This is about Enron, the smartest guys in the room. Again, the same kind of situation. And it's interesting when you go back and you look at the Enron stuff, it feels very similar to Tesla. And I'll give you a couple examples of the Enron one. Is that as talked about in the documentary, where they were posting the stock price in the elevator at Enron, because that was the whole discussion. Like, everyone's getting rich, and it was just all about the stock price kept going up. And they ran commercials about how awesome they were and how they're going to change the world and they're going to get into like everything. And they were doing like crazy crap of like trading on futures of the weather, like just crazy crap like that. They were doing all sort of fuzzy accounting, these kind of things. And this is, educate yourself on this stuff. And the question I pose to you is, how do we treat, say, white collar crime in the USA? For some people, or sort of how our system works, is that they're just like, okay, I'm just going to pay the fine and just keep on scamming, keep on committing fraud. The whole Tesla situation has been a strange one because this particular guy, Mr. Musk, yes, he's very rich. I tell you the truth, he's a rich guy, but he like makes promises, all the time. They don't really pan out, and then like he just makes more promises, and people keep going along with it. I think though we're in a phase of our markets and our fiscal policy where the money isn't quite there anymore. The money's not going to come back. That I think you're down half your money on Tesla stock or whatever, and then people are starting to cry foul. But it just shows how there's a lot of corruption along the way. It's posting the stock price in the elevator kind of stuff like at Enron, right? As long as everyone's getting rich and stuff like that. But when people start selling, be it Mr. Musk, he's like, you know what, time to jump off the train. And the other people, didn't jump off soon enough. The claws start to come out, and a lot of sort of these false promises are exposed. So that's my thoughts on this stuff. Be careful out there, guys. And this is also too a good advice to not put all of your eggs in one basket and all your trust in one particular person, because you never know in this world if they're doing some shady things behind the scenes. And that's why you want to spread out your assets. Fortunately, though, I think we have a culture, be it on social media and otherwise, where and this is real. You have people on social media stuff like, oh, you should just YOLO on the Tesla because Elon Musk is a genius. And whatever you say, they just say Elon Musk is a genius. But the same way that like I can point out people who are fraudulent or scammers, because I literally just look it up and I can hear the stuff what they say. I point out with something like this. It's obvious to me. And the question is, how long will it take you to figure it out? And that's what I pose to you. So love to hear your thoughts on this one. Thanks again. And I'll catch you all in the next video.